I want to jump in right into the conversation and start with the rumors surrounding the new head coaching position, Peter Laviolette being named that head coach potentially. Like, how do you feel about him potentially being the man at the wheel of this team? And when you look at his resume, his coaching record, do you believe that he can help this team get to the next level? Because they've been in the playoffs the last 4 years. They made it to a conference finals, got beat by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Can Peter Laviolette be that guy to help them get over that hurdle?
Yeah, I mean, the phrase that I've kind of been using on my show, I did this in a recent episode regarding Peter Laviolette, because coming into this offseason, once Gallant was fired, I did kind of feel like he had a little bit of the inside track. He probably was the most likely person to be the next head coach of this team. The phrase that I've used is it's an obnoxiously safe hire. You know what I mean? Like there's part of me that really
Yeah.
wants to see them roll the dice. Chris Knobloch has done a nice job with their AHL team, the Hartford Wolfpack.
Mhm.
You've got some other young coaches that were available around this league, Andrew Burnett and Jay Leach among them. And then
Right.
you've got, the candidates that are kind of on that NHL coaching carousel that we're also familiar with. These guys get just kind of
Yeah.
bounce from one team to the next. And so, as far as that type of a coach, which is the category that Laviolette fits into, it's not a bad hire at all. I mean, he clearly has a pretty successful track record. He's coached 5 teams. He's taken 3 of them to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And when you look at his win-loss record, I was pretty surprised. I mean, I knew it was good, but when I looked into it this offseason, it's a pretty sparkling record. So Laviolette, he's one of those guys. He's going to walk into the room. I think he'll command a lot of respect and a lot of attention right away. He's just always kind of struck me as a no-nonsense kind of a coach. I think for Ranger fans, there'll be a little bit of an adjustment period because we're so used to seeing him coach teams like the Flyers and the Capitals.
Yeah.
And anytime Laviolette has coached one of those teams, it's gotten really nasty between that team and the Rangers. So it's going to take some time. It'll take some warming up to. But again, as far as the retreads are concerned, I think you could do worse than Laviolette. And it's a solid hire, if a ridiculously safe hire for the Rangers, if he is the guy.
100%. And actually, he's a bit of a Metro Division specialist.
Yeah.
This is his 5th club that he's coached in this Metro Division. I don't know what that's going to mean for the overall success of the Rangers, but it can't hurt them going into this season. I think you're right on the money, though, John, with that safe hire. At the end of the day, too, he's the 8th winningest coach in NHL history. And when you're mentioning the other names in the conversation, Lindy Ruff, Paul Maurice, Laviolette, like you said, I don't think there's there's not a mistake here. To me, it's very much like what's going on with the Maple Leafs in terms of off the ice. It's all on the ice for me, right? We know the talent this Rangers team has. Shesterkin, we're going to talk about it, up front, loaded. But for me, at the end of the day, it's what can they do in the offseason with the roster? And we'll get there in a second. But what's your overall takeaway in this offseason? Laviolette, okay. What do they need to get done? What's at the top of the list? We'll talk a little bit about that. But for you, what do they really need to accomplish this offseason to be ready for October?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opinions out there with Ranger fans. It's a very passionate fan base. And, there's all these kind of fantasy ideas of trade this guy or trade that guy. And I've been quick to remind everybody, no, he has a no-move clause. He has a no-move clause. He has a no-move clause, a partial no-move clause, on and on. So they've got precious little cap space to work with this offseason. And I think going into this next season, the team that you saw, excluding the rental type players, the team that you saw the Rangers put on the ice at the end of this past season is largely what you're going to see for this upcoming season. I think there's going to be like a little bit of patchwork here and there. I know some Ranger fans, and I include myself in this, are excited about the idea of maybe you bring back Jesper Fast. They're going to have to be smart with the money that they have. They don't have the kind of money to bring in one of the top guys in the free agent class, but you can add in, some defensively responsible forwards. I'm going to do an episode in the future. We've already started looking at different UFAs from around the league, but I want to do an episode, or at least a couple of segments of an episode, where I try to find what I'm calling inexpensive speed. I think the Rangers could use a speed demon. I don't think they're like a slow team, but there's nobody other than maybe Kreider that really stands out as far as having a lot of speed. And, maybe a little bit more grit as well. I mean, every team in the league always wants to add more grit and more toughness.
Yeah.
You know how it is. But, I think the Rangers could stand to improve in that area as well. But it's going to be interesting because they have not a lot of money to work with. So they're going to have to be smart. There's money ball in baseball. Rangers are going to have to play a little bit of money puck this offseason, I think.